Question 4. What advice would you give current and future performance ensemble students?
I'll say that if you're going to do it, just do it. I know people are shy when we've seen people come into performance ensemble just because they needed to take a class so they can graduate, or they came in and didn't want to perform and wanted to do other things that are within performance, which is also needed as well. So I think when you come into performance, think about what you want to get out of it before you even enter the room, because the space has already been there and it's open for different people to come in, but you still got to respect the space. And if you come in and do not want to participate at all, that doesn't continue the work that we're doing. It actually stalls and makes us have to go back and try to like push you to be able to express your voice. Not saying that everybody is confident in their voice, but once you make that decision to do a performance ensemble, come and do the work. Don't come in and like come and do it. Try it. If you don't try, then you're not going to know how you're going to expand and grow moving forward. So just take that leap, take that jump, and when you know, leave that fear behind you, because we're going to help you get through it.
I think for anybody that has a slight interest, my advice is just to do it. It's better to do something and regret it than to be like, oh, maybe I should have done that, and now you're graduating, you didn't do anything. Because you can always drop it, right? Like you can go to 2 classes and be like, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this, and that's cool, and you can just dip out. But it's better to just try it and regret it than to not try at all.
Agreed. I totally agree. Just do it, even if you just kind of think maybe you want to try it. Just do it, absolutely. Because if you do miss out, you could be missing out on memories that could just stick with you for the rest of your life, and something that you can hold on to that nobody can take from you, truly, and bond with such amazing people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. And I'm just trying to sell hard because it's just really an experience. I really do feel that way. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for performance ensemble. So hopefully that sells it.
I would say, what was the second portion of your question?
Like, what advice would you give? Like, why should they do it, or
Why should they take communication studies? That's what I wanted to talk about. Why anybody should take communication studies? I'm gonna talk about my personal experience, why I chose it. When I first got into school, I wanted to do business, kinesiology, psychology, all types of different things, you know. And I chose communication studies because, number one, most times that I've been into any space, they've taught me how to do that job. The hardest thing, or the number one thing that they've wanted me to do, was how do you connect with the people? You know, regardless if I was selling insurance or if I was a dance instructor for a ballroom dance company. You know, I've done all those things, you know, into what I do now as far as being a basketball coach for the youth. The number one thing that boils down is how can I communicate to all those different types of people. And for anybody that wants to do communication studies, don't think about it as, oh, how is this going to affect me in my career? You know, because it's going to, my personal opinion, it's going to give you the career that you want. If you know how to articulate yourself, if you know how to communicate within yourself, if you know what you want, you'll be able to get there. But a lot of times, a lot of people stop because of the connections, or because of the, how am I going to present myself to this audience, or whatever the case may be, or the boardroom, or that's where a lot of people stop themselves at. And with being a part of the performance ensemble, going on stage, going to Arkansas, doing those things, it makes you know that life is not that scary. It's not that serious, you know? And when you're able to understand how to express yourself through that, you're able to just be yourself and let life guide you. And so that's why I personally chose communication studies, and why I personally feel that, you know, don't think about, oh, is this gonna, like, especially if you take performance ensemble, is this class gonna be good for me, or how am I gonna use this in the work field? And if you have that mindset, you've already lost, because you're already putting yourself in a box. See, how is this gonna help me in my relationship? How is it going to help me better express myself as a human being? How is this going to help me grow? Because, man, I never really thought about these aspects of my life. But now that I have to talk about it for a performance, now I can really get through things that I never really thought about. Seeing in those type of perspectives, and it may change your life. Actually, changed hers.
Amen. That was beautiful. Thank you.
I think communication studies. I think also the reason why I changed my major so much was because communication studies. I was able to like have an interdisciplinary approach and bring everything I wanted to do in one space. In communication studies, you could bring in your interests from all over, whether that be in a form of debate, whether that be in a form of performance, whether that be in a form of like forensics, like all that. It's just like a world where you could like have those multiple parts of yourself. You don't have to really cut yourself short. I think for performance ensemble, if you're interested, I think you have to follow your gut or your intuition of why at all were you interested, what about it was speaking to you, and why do you need to speak? Why do you feel like you would even need to perform? Why do you feel like you even have an inkling towards an ensemble? And like sit with yourself and ask those questions, because that's probably something like deeper there. And that will only like come up, and you'll only be able to step in that if you let it like be activated once you're in the space. Because there's a reason for it, unless someone dragged you there and you really weren't paying attention. But if you're paying attention and you signed up and you walked in there, it's a very specific room. It's a very specific place to find. You have to really be searching for this, I think, to find it, unless your professor tells you that they think you should be in it. I think you should follow that and trust that and let yourself surrender to the process through all the ways that it comes with, right? Because again, like they're just saying some really beautiful things about it. So yeah, I think ask yourself why how did you even got here after all these years of your life? You ended up in this room. Why, right?
Thank you.